Fox News alert, another Swalwell accuser just went public, and the allegations are graphic. Viewer warning.
I believe he drugged my drink. I only had one glass of wine. When I arrived at his hotel room, I was already incapacitated and I couldn't move my arms or my body. He raped me and he choked me. And while he was choking me, I lost consciousness. And I thought I died. I did not consent to any sexual activity.
She says the pain didn't go away.
It had a profound impact on my mental health. I self-medicated in an unhealthy way. I did not want to live anymore. I cried all the time for years. At the time, I was in a dating relationship with a boyfriend I was fully committed to. I've never cheated in my life, and I would never have engaged in a consensual sexual encounter with Eric Swalwell.
Today, she handed over what she says are damning texts and photos to the LA sheriff. That's now 5 women accusing him of rape, sexual assault, and harassment, and they want justice.
The fact that he has now dropped out of the governor's race and resigned from Congress, is that justice in your view?
No, it's just the beginning. It's just the very beginning. And I know personally that we're not walking away from this fight.
For me, justice won't be until he can't ever harm a woman ever again. And he has faced the consequences for the women that he has harmed.
I think we just prevented another 30 to 40 years potentially of him harming people if he were to stay in Congress.
One woman claims Swalwell sent her nudes she didn't ask for and says he showed up at her apartment uninvited. Says this wasn't a mistake, it was a mindset.
He thought that he was untouchable. He didn't care what he was putting out there. He thought that all of these women would stay loyal to him.
My delay in taking action against Eric was driven by fear, not doubt. Fear of his political power, his background as an attorney, and his family law enforcement ties.
Drugging, choking, rape. These are serious accusations. The Manhattan District Attorney is investigating, and we expect prosecutors in LA to do the same. Swalwell swears he's innocent and insinuates it's a setup. Kash Patel heard that and invited the congressman to sit down for an FBI interview. I doubt he'll do that. Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna told us last night her former colleague might end up in cuffs.
I do think that he has serious criminal problems on his hand, and I do think that he might end up in jail, Jesse. And if I could just share with you for a moment, not only did I receive forensic reporting showing that, that infamous video of him in the hotel room was indeed him. It was not AI generated. But I'm also being told that, more stuff is going to be dropping in the next 24 hours. And then also potentially the individual that recorded that video in that hotel room, Jesse, was a female and she was underage.
Oh. Fox hasn't been able to independently confirm Swalwell was actually the guy in the video or anyone in the room was underage, but we're working on it. Democrats raised millions off Believe All Women, remember? They nuked due process in the process. And Swalwell, he led the charge.
My Republican colleagues do not trust women. You don't trust women. Do you all ever talk to women? They deserve better. Trust women, my friends. Trust women. They will get it right.
Turns out Democrats only believe women when it works for them. Everybody knew Swalwell had a zipper problem. Even his best friend in the whole world, not our words, Swalwell's, says he had a rep.
In the beginning, you said when you first heard these rumors a few weeks ago, that's when you called him. Then you said you've heard these rumors for years. So which one is it, Senator?
So I heard rumors of him being flirty.
When you first heard these rumors, should you have acted when you first heard these rumors several years ago?
The rumors I heard were that he was just a flirty social guy. That's it.
Nancy had to know. She was his mentor. Pelosi put him on the House Intel Committee and had his back after Fang Fang. She also tapped him to take down Trump on impeachment, J6 committees. Nance sponsored him. Now she says, don't look at me.
Some Republicans and others are saying that Democrats turned kind of a blind eye, that they knew what he was up to or what the allegations were.
That is absolutely positive. It's true that they may say that, but it is absolutely not true.
You had no idea?
None whatsoever.
Nancy knows everything. It's her job to know. She knows who's having an affair, who's having money troubles, whose kid has a drug problem. Nancy's a lot of things, but she's not ignorant. Hollywood poured over $100 grand into Swalwell's campaign. Sean Penn, Robert De Niro, Jane Fonda. Big names, big checks. Did they know Swalwell's dirty little secret? Little Eric was crashing in his big billionaire backer's pool house. Now the donor's like, Eric who?
Did you suspect this at all?
No! I was blown away.
How's your relationship with Eric? Are you guys still friends?
Eric who? Is that clear?
After the coup, everyone plays clueless. Democrats had dirt on Swalwell the whole time. But he was useful as a weapon against Trump. So they turned a blind eye to his shenanigans until he threatened their power in California. Then boom, coup. Nuked him on the eve of the primary. They fired their first shot Friday in the San Francisco Chronicle, hometown paper, make it look local. Then every endorsement got yanked. Like clockwork, victims started appearing on TV, and by Monday, he was done. The last accuser today was supposed to be the kill shot, but he was already out. Someone call 911. I'd like to report a murder. This was such a highly orchestrated, well-executed political assassination. The only way this could have been pulled off in 3 days, if the Democrat machine knew about Swalwell's skeletons for years. Reporters are running around D.C. bragging they had dirt on Swalwell this whole time. Other congressmen, staff, they're all saying, yeah, we knew. Did they dig into it? No. Did they tell him to knock it off? Doubt it. Did any of them help the women? No. They waited until the machine gave the green light and then said, yes, sir, and took him out. Same thing happened with the Biden cover-up. They knew Joe was toast, lied about it, but when Biden blew himself up at the debate, he became a liability and put all their seats in play, threatened their power. So we got whacked. Then Tapper wrote a book, and everyone was like, oh, yeah, everybody knows Joe was comatose. He fell asleep in his soup. The Democratic machine is ruthless. They survive on blackmail, cover-ups, and coups. Trump took on the Republican machine in 2016 and beat it, but the Democrat machine, still undefeated. We're not saying Swalwell's a victim. No, he loaded the gun. The party just pulled the trigger. They made Eric Swalwell cool. They put him out there like this young gun with social media game, a straight white guy without toxic masculinity. You look at Swalwell's profile, cable news hits, foreign travel, top committee spots. You'd think this guy was the coolest kid in D.C. That's what the Democrats wanted you to think. But when the first girl came forward, nobody had his back. Not one person in the media, after all those TV hits, he lived in their green rooms. Not one person in the House, not one person on his staff defended him. No, whoa, Eric's a good guy. Let's give him the benefit of the doubt. Nothing. No loyalty, no friends, nothing. Everybody knew. And when it was time, they knew what to do. What a nasty business. So Swalwell's finished, and the bench is thin. It's potatoes or the billionaire. But Potatoes has baggage. She's accused of burning her husband with a pot of scalding hot mashed potatoes, hence the nickname, terrorizing her staff. And you remember this?
I'm going to try to win every vote I can. And what I'm saying to you is that...
Well, to those voters, okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it. Okay. Thank you.
You're not going to do the interview with us?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
Every other candidate has answered.
I don't care. I don't care. I want to have a pleasant, positive conversation in which you ask me about every issue on this list. And if every question you're going to make up a follow-up question, then we're never going to get there.
Ms.
And
Porter,
we're just going to circle around.
I am an investigative
I have never had to do
reporter.
this before, ever.
You've never had to have a
end an
conversation
interview.
with
To end
a
an
reporter?
interview.
Okay, but every other candidate has done this.
So I guess Democrats are going to nominate a billionaire who dances like this. A straight white billionaire with no rhythm. That is everything California stands against. Everything. So, plan B. Luckily, they got plenty of California girls in the sea.
California is the fourth, it's like running a country.
Yeah.
And Swalwell was running to be governor, and he was the lead candidate for the Democrats. And so I'd like to see Kamala Harris maybe put her hat back in the ring for governor of Congress, governor of California.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube, and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.